If you think Tiger Woods is someone who enjoys being around this place, this man right here, number one, Marty Smith, you have more jobs than a handler when it comes down
I do
to
have
it.
a lot of jobs.
Yes, but I want to know, how many times have you been here to the Masters?
This is my 4th time here, but it's only my 2nd time working with ESPN, reporting on the tournament. And we produce several features, of course, ahead of the tournament on either various athletes, various golfers, or attributes of Augusta National. And look, man, I grew up on a farm. I never dreamed I'd have the opportunity to be here at all, much less to be here with ESPN and have that blessing. It's a blessing. This place is unlike anywhere else we go. I was saying right before we came on, I mean, you just look behind us and you see the beautiful scene of all the patrons here. We just heard a great roar. We'd love to know what happened. If you guys can tweet us and let us know. But
because there's no phones allowed, so we can't
It's just
check.
phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal.
You and I talk about how blessed and lucky we are that where we came from to where we are.
Right on
Another
cue.
roar, just like we were talking about at the 9th hole, another roar happens. That's the one thing that's so special about this place, which I actually am cool with the fact that they don't allow cell phones in
Me too.
here. It's because you could be walking around following a couple of groups and you start hearing roars and you feel the electricity. But I got to ask you, the difference between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and today, Thursday, try to explain that feeling.
Well, it's a little bit more of an intensity. This place, again, it's unlike anywhere else I've been, certainly professionally, but even in my life. I love what Rory McIlroy said when he was addressing the media a couple of days ago, that he loves being here when it's not Masters Week because he said it's like walking into an empty church. Because there's that serenity and there's that solitude and there's that reverence, and you know that there's the spirituality in the air. That is absolutely true about Augusta National.
It
hangs in the air.
Oh, yeah.
And,
absolutely.
you know, when it is quiet and you're walking with the ghosts, it's funny. The first time I ever came, Michael, was 2015, and I brought my wife's uncle, Joe Kokoza, and we were actually walking down that row of pines right behind us between 1 and 9. And it was well into the evening on Friday, and there was a roar over the hill. And it was just him and me. He wanted to see every hole because it is where the ghosts walked. And I'm telling you, 75, 80 degrees outside, I had a solid 5 or 6 beer buzz going. And we were walking down those pine needles right there. And honestly, it felt like him and me and the ghosts. And I had cold chills in 75 and 80 degree weather. And it was one of the greatest moments I've ever had as a fan of any sport, anything. What's up, man? Say hi to Twitter. But this place is just different. And it is hard to articulate. I'll tell you another very special moment for me. And I'm here this week, you know, hosting the podcast for the Masters folks, and that's a blessing in and of itself. But I said this on the first episode. Last year, on Sunday, I was relieved of my reporting duties when CBS's window went live because our great friend Tom Rinaldi and Gene Wojciechowski, they were going to do the post-round coverage for SportsCenter and the other various platforms for ESPN. So I got called and told I was done. And I confirmed that I was done, and I was, and I walked out to the concession stand. I grabbed 2 beers, and I walked
$5?
a couple $5, and I walked from where we're standing to Amen Corner. And I sat down at Amen Corner, and I drank one of those beers for me and the other beer for my daddy. Because growing up, you know, this is a father-son thing. This is a generational thing.
Yeah.
And it was an amazingly spiritual moment. You know, to have one for me and one for my dad. He would have tripped out that I'm here, man. He wouldn't know what to do.
What are you most looking forward to this week?
To see who does what. There's so many guys that we all feel like can contend, and we've had many spirited debates about that already so far. A lot of you guys feel like Justin Rose is a guy who can contend. We all are kind of looking at Tiger a little bit. Everybody's looking at McIlroy. But it'll be so fun to see specifically Jordan Spieth. Given where he is right now in the way that he's played, he's not having the best luck right now. He's not playing especially well. But this place it suits him so well. He's had such tremendous success here in the past, and this could be a place where he really relearns the self-confidence to be great again. And I would love to see that for him.
I think...
Did I just sound like I knew golf?
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Rinaldi, what do you think? Rinaldi says it's beautiful. Look, if Rinaldi says it's beautiful, it's beautiful.
Okay, so next year, apparently, I won't have this job because he's going to take that one, too.
I can't pull off this jacket, though.
Joseph Ape. Actually, you know why? Because if you put it on, it look like a cape. You look like you're about to fly.
Look like Superman.
You were talking about Jordan Spieth, but that's when you talk about a guy who's comfortable walking with the ghost at this place. He's just comfortable walking with the ghost.
Having won it so young and having, tied Tiger Woods for the lowest round ever, right? Isn't that accurate? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
I really sound like I know what I'm talking about here. I'm really proud of myself.
If you start talking about how to hit a fade, I'm going to jump off this platform right now.
That's the last thing you want me to discuss. It's just, this is a place that just suits him so well. And when you come back somewhere annually, the way they do here, that has to give him self-confidence as he progresses to try to refine his game, because right now, from everything that I've seen and listening to the people that actually know, it seems like he's really searching.
Last question I got to ask you right before we came on together. We were talking about who we get to see walking around this place.
Man, it's crazy.
Which is wild. Who have you seen?
We've seen NFL quarterbacks. We've seen, half the NASCAR driving corps, of course, that's my past. I've seen 5 or 6 drivers walking around. It's so cool, and that also tells you about the magnitude of the Masters. If you have an opportunity to come here, it's a spiritual moment. And it's so fun, especially for people that come for the first time, to gauge that reaction. No matter what level you try to take an explanation to someone who has not been immersed within this, you can't get to a point that it exceeds what they experience. I remember when I came here the first time, I had the loftiest of expectations, and it's so far exceeded those expectations, it's beyond the ability to articulate. And I think that's probably a universal truth among people that come here for the first time. But it doesn't get old, right?
Ever.
It never loses that edge.
Right.
It's very sweet.
Now everybody understands what I understand in hanging out with this man. Just like the Masters and Augusta, Marty is a spiritual experience.